What issue or issues are most important to you as a resident of Jura?
The issues that are most important to me as a resident on Jura are affordability across the board for everything, namely transport, ferries and connecting ferries. The cost of the ferry, particularly from Jura over to our neighbouring island of Islay,
It's okay, just carry on.
is exceptionally high. And then with that, it adds a cost onto anything that you try and do here. So if you have to travel for social or health purposes or business purposes, you have that added cost.
Travel's really expensive and it's hard because Brecon is so small, not a lot of buses run a lot of times, and you do need to get a bus to Montrose or to wherever to then get a train to wherever you actually want to go.
In our section of Harris, there's between Tarbert and Leverborough, there's possibly about half of the road over a 20-mile stretch is still single track, and it's multiple stretches of double, single, and it's just not suitable for the modern era.
Especially Brecon is so small, less jobs, so if you lived in Brecon and you didn't have if you didn't drive, you'd have to use that transport to get to your job somewhere else.
Especially for young people, young people that want to get jobs and stuff, it's quite difficult to find one because there aren't that many businesses and stuff here.
It's particularly good to be here in the absolute heartland of community land ownership, here in the Western Isles, where now over 70% of the population live in community-owned estates, and it's really an example to the rest of Scotland to follow.
And tell me about the West Harris Trust. What does it do? What's it for?
It's a community land organisation, 120 people in the community, and they own about 17,000 acres of land. Beautiful Macker coastline, lovely mountains in the distance, and it's virtually all under cropping tenure.
What do you say of the success has been for the project?
Big successes have been managing to turn the community around from one that was depopulating to one that's getting new people coming in. The population has risen from 119 to over 130. The community has released plots of land for self-build. They've managed to get a local housing association that's currently building 6 houses, and we're building our own community and business centre, about 500 square metres. And generally the community has grown in confidence, challenging, taking on new challenges and coming up with lots of new ideas.
The other things that are important to me are certainly, in terms of right now, is affordable housing. When I say affordable housing, I mean 1 to 2 bedroom housing that will not only encourage the younger generation to stay here, but will bring the ones that have left to come back.
The jobs are here, and if you put housing in, you'll find a lot of people who have to out-migrate to get jobs just now will come back, and there is a lot of talent of people from these rural areas working in cities, and they're beginning to realise that they can do the job in their area with modern communications.
We recently had an inquiry from a company wanting to create 4 jobs which required fast internet speed and lots of data capacity, and we just don't have that on our system, and so they've had to look elsewhere. We can do all we like in terms of housing provision and creating business space, but more businesses in the future are going to need fast broadband speeds, and if we don't have it, we're just going to be at a competitive disadvantage.
Shetland has the highest rate of suicide per capita, because there's such a low support system here. You have CAMS, and then you have also the psychiatrists through the NHS, and you also have Women's Aid, but they're all really badly understaffed, and there's hundreds of people who are on the waiting list to get to CAMS, and there's 2 people who work there, so there's not enough workers to deal with the load that are coming through, and it means that there's a lot of people who are going untreated or just being chucked on antidepressants because they'll be fine, whereas sometimes what they need is to speak about it and work through issues, and it can cause more problems than solutions, just chucking people on meds, because sometimes if you fix the core problem, then they don't need the drugs.
The big challenges that remain are enabling people on lower incomes to build their own houses or to find good opportunities, always to create new jobs and quality jobs that can provide, a long-term career structure for people in an island context, and having enough young people around effectively to care for the older ones in the community.
Yeah, that's an issue quite a lot of communities have been talking about, actually. Do you think that you will stay living here when you finish school?
No.
Though it's good. Though it's
It's nice for a childhood. It's really nice for a childhood because you're very protected
even
here.
retirement. Like if
If
you were to come,
get a nice house.
Yeah, like
and,
I'd love my children to go to school here because obviously like I went to school here and I know how like reliable and stuff it is. So I'd probably like settle down here, but for like
for like
I
you need to experience different things because there's lack of opportunity here. There's lack of like
life experience.
Yeah.
Do you think that you will move back to Shetland?
No.
One day.
I wouldn't move back to Shetland. Maybe when I retire. Maybe.
There's no clubs and there's no like big social life. It's mostly just like the pub that everyone goes to.
Like a local pub that like old men go to.
Which doesn't benefit teenagers at all.
Yeah, and you don't get to socialise and you don't get to make like a network and like have
Or
connections.
make new friends because you're always surrounded by the same people and the same kind of gossip and stuff like that. You don't get to go out and, actually, challenge yourself, go and see sights and stuff like that.
How do you feel about the future for your community?
I'm confident about the future. For the first time since I came to Harris, I can see that there's a very positive future ahead. Harris has lost more than half of its population since the Second World War, but the rate of decline in the last 10 years slowed down quite a lot, and now I think we are turning things around. But we need, continued support and investment from agencies and from central government to make that happen.
This new building was the best thing that probably happened to people.
As a whole, that's so true. That should have been going
like
under the
earlier on
good
about
things.
attractions. I think this is definitely our new main, our attraction. This is what drags a lot of people
It's so
in.
great. This is like, it makes the community even better.
Because you're interacting with not just your classmates but with the public. We have quotes on every wall.
Yeah,
windows everywhere, the light comes in.
And I feel like I have had such a boost in my motivation, my education, everything in that building.
Just because of that.
The library, one amazing place.
Yeah, incredible.
About opportunities. This gives you a lot of opportunities because it's right next to the school. I feel like it probably, because it's a brand new gym and brand new facilities, it probably will motivate people to kind of get fit and motivate people to maybe join the gym, join Zumba classes or classes, meet new people.
Even using the pool,
using the pool.
Oh yeah, I love using the pool. This place gave a job opportunities because as soon as they opened up, they were looking for younger people to be working at the cafe, at the fitness.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really,
one of our
good
friends
start.
who just left school. He got a job pretty much straight away, and now he works in the fitness side of our school.
Yeah, and I feel like that's good because then you're getting people in the community involved in the community,
and it's opened up more job opportunities.
Yeah, and I think that was amazing.
Yeah,
what a good day.
Best thing ever.
Yeah.